Man woke up to find seawater pouring into his cabin. He jumped up in a panic to check what was going on. To his shock, there was a massive hole in the hull of the boat, but when he stepped outside, he was completely stunned. A shipping container had somehow impaled his yacht. Seeing this, he quickly lowered the sail to stabilize the boat. Then he grabbed a crowbar and tried to pry the container loose. He used all his strength, but the container didn't budge an inch. Suddenly, an idea struck him. He pulled out a yellow bag and tied a rope from it to the back of the container. Then he tossed the bag into the sea. It was a sea anchor. Once the anchor secured the container in place, he slammed the throttle and managed to break the yacht free. He watched as the container drifted farther and farther away, finally letting out a sigh of relief. But the danger wasn't over yet. The cabin was nearly filled with seawater. Sealing the hole in the hull became the top priority. He patched the breach with fiberglass, then applied a layer of resin. Once it dried, he added a second coat, working tirelessly all day. Eventually, he collapsed into a hammock and fell asleep. The next morning, he woke up and continued sealing the hole while laying out his soaked electronics to dry. After half a day's work, he finally sealed the breach. But the flooding inside the boat was still a huge problem. He kept pumping water out non-stop. Once the cabin was mostly dry, he hurried to reconnect the radio, hoping to send out a distress signal. But it seemed the radio had been damaged by water. It shut off before he could send anything. Out of options, the man decided to cook something to eat. But just as he was settling down, the calm sea suddenly turned to drizzle. It was clear a storm was on its way. He quickly gathered whatever useful supplies he could from the cabin. Just as he put on his rain gear, the storm hit with full force. Without wasting time, he strapped himself in with a safety rope and climbed up to the deck. As he reached for the sail, a giant wave crashed over and flung him into the ocean. Luckily, the safety rope saved his life, and he managed to pull himself back on board, but things were spiraling out of control. He retreated into the cabin, but the storm outside only grew fiercer. The yacht was tossed around violently, and worst of all, the patched-up hole gave way again. As the waves slammed into the boat, he was thrown into a pillar and knocked unconscious. No one knows how long he was out. When he came to, the cabin was completely flooded. Staying on the boat now meant certain death, so he grabbed the life raft and jumped into the sea.